Hey folks, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Tutorials Group. And let's jump right into this poster. Wanted to know how to merge these two photos together and make it look the same. And you know, my answer is because they're at two different angles, there's no way to match these. I'm going to have to physically cut these out, each one individually. It's going to take a little bit of while, and I'm going to try to preserve the shadows so that we can either recreate them or use them. So let's get right to it. I'm going to turn everything else off. And we do have a new background here that we're going to use, and this is another ocean that kind of matches the other one. Hopefully it's going to work with the sand there. So let's go ahead and start with the very first one. We're going to turn everything else off and just start by cutting her out little by little. I'm going to grab an eraser and a small 5-point soft brush, and we're just going to zoom in and carefully just start cutting out the whole image little by little. And now that we have her cut out, now we want to do is take the polygon tool and carefully cut out in between. Okay, so double click at the end, we can zoom out. If we hit delete, it's going to delete the girl. But if we right click and hit select inverse, it selects everything else but the girl. Hit delete and we got rid of everything else. And that's pretty much it. Now we're going to turn off the girl, turn on the boy, and do the same thing with him. We'll zoom in and cut him out. And now that we erased around the child, now we're going to grab the polygon tool and do the same thing as we did with the other and basically cut him out completely. And now that we come to the end of polygoning, we double click, we can zoom out, and like I've said before, we can right click and hit cut, or we can select the inverse and hit delete, and that deletes everything else. Now we do have a little bit of the white towel here, but we can grab the shadow from somewhere else later and fix that. So let's bring the girl back, and now we got them both in their own pane, their own layers. And let's bring the new beach back, and let's kind of figure out where to place them and how to place the size so that it looks natural. Right? We can do something like this. Let's actually make the beach a little bit smaller to fit them in the picture better. See that? It's starting to look about pretty good. So you see, it's not really that hard to do. Now what we want to do is just play with the shadows a little bit and soften them up. So finally we want to make these shadows see-through. So I'm going to actually cut them out by duplicating and then shaving them off. So if I duplicate her and then erase everything but the shadow. Then I can grab the polygon. Grab my shadow and hit cut. Grab the duplicate of her and get rid of it. So now I just got a shadow. Same thing with the other one. In this way, what we can do is grab the shadows individually and put them behind the layer, and I can manipulate it a lot better this way. Put layer 4 underneath layer 1 and put the shadow back over here like this where it's supposed to be. Now I can manipulate it by once we got it where we want it to be, all we have to do is take the opacity and lessen it, and there we go. I'm going to do one final stretch on the shadow. Pull it out, and I think we got us a pretty decent picture there. It looks like they're right in the sand there playing next to the ocean, and that's pretty much it for this tutorial. This is Rich calling it quits for this session, saying over and out.